She-Hulk is fun. I think even people hating it are weirdly having fun with it. Life's a trip, bruh. No, I assure you I just hate it. Yes, Queen! Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I'm actually astonished after watching episode 3 of She-Hulk that this show even exists. How exactly did we get to this point in superhero stories, and more specifically in the MCU, where we have humor about tabloid gossip and twerking? Now, I understand that some people may perceive that as being fun. I personally do not. To me, with the MCU, we have now ventured into the lowest form of entertainment, especially for something that is supposedly scripted.
That is one big pile of shit.
When they revealed a couple of weeks ago that the writers of She-Hulk couldn't write the courtroom scenes, this is your proof right here that that in fact was true. Episode 3 features what should have been courtroom drama, but instead it dissolved into Abomination buffoonishly stating how he is now a changed man, and then making googly eyes at his pen pal soulmates who are in attendance. That, coupled with the fact that every single episode is very short, that kind of tells me that they didn't have enough material, or at least the ability to create that material, to justify this show existing.
That makes sense.
So let's just do what the MCU does and distract people with poorly delivered humor. There's even a fourth wall breaking joke early in this episode, where I guess Marvel is trying to be self-aware in a tongue-in-cheeky type way, as She-Hulk proclaims to the audience that this is not going to be one of those cameo-heavy shows, and that it is in fact her show, and we shouldn't forget that.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
All that really does is remind me that all of your content relies on cameos to excite people, simply because you cannot write better stories. That's the real reason that Wong is in this episode. He's the quirky character that everyone seems to like for some reason. Not really sure why, because I find him pretty insufferable, but here he is just to tell everyone that Abomination is a changed man and that he had an opportunity to get out of prison and didn't take it. Thank you for your contribution, Wong. We'll see you in the next pointless cameo that you have.
Talk to you soon, okay? Bye!
Can't you see that it's just the same shit with the new MCU over and over and over again? This episode also featured a lot of public reaction to She-Hulk, either through social media or through the news. This includes guys on social media claiming that they want to bang She-Hulk. Or worse, one of her critics proclaims, in-universe, that if you're going to be a superhero, at least get your own. I assume this was a thinly veiled, not so subtle shot at people who quote-unquote don't like this show because it has a female lead.
Fuck me, right?
Little did the imbeciles who wrote this show actually know, She-Hulk actually has a pretty strong following as a character in the comics. And as I've stated before, she is one of the few female alternate characters that existed in comics and managed to come out from under the shadow of her male counterpart. That being the Hulk, of course. She managed to be her own character and stand on her own 2 feet. Yes, a lot of people hate the MCU version of She-Hulk, but that's because of the way you write her.
You blew it!
This is just more deflection of criticism disguised as fun by Marvel Studios. There's also a strange subplot for this episode, where this douchey, misogynistic DA is suing an Asgardian shapeshifter for misleading him into thinking that he was dating Megan Thee Stallion. Yes, that is a real subplot in the She-Hulk show. Let that sink in.
I'm having trouble.
This subplot only exists to serve 2 purposes. To make more comments about how stupid and piggish men can be, and 2, so we can have a pointless Megan Thee Stallion cameo. I say again, does this not prove that they didn't have enough material to justify this show's existence? We have filler in a 25-minute episode that features Megan Thee Stallion. This is what people find fun now, having their time being wasted.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
By the end of the episode, She-Hulk is still bitch-moaning and complaining about her powers, and finally, after what seems like forever, she actually fights someone other than the Hulk when 4 guys attack her in an alley. Apparently they wanted a sample of her blood and they work for a mysterious figure. I guess this is supposed to be a tease for an incoming threat. But you can't tease someone who gives absolutely no fucks about what is going on.
I don't care!
This show is quite literally an abomination, and all pun is intended there. And I simply do not understand how people cannot see what is going on here, and how this is devaluing the Marvel brand. The MCU is no longer in decline, it's at rock fucking bottom. And I think we have the writers and directors of She-Hulk to thank more than anyone for that. Don't you ever get tired of hating women, you incel? Are you incapable of turning off your brain like the rest of us and just enjoying this show for what it is? I say again, if you don't like it, then you don't have to watch it. And stop ruining the fun for everyone else. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's an incel who doesn't realize that the MCU doesn't belong to him anymore. Down with the patriarchy. Yes, queen!
Y'all be cool. Right on.